My people. So then you said that they put millions of my houses. Yes, you said so. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a
was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, save facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angels, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. That was designed fast for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback.
Alright, this is Rude Speech, man. We got Captain Tywar in the building. Yeah. So, Cap, man, let us know where you from.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man, on Rude Speech, man. I break it down right quick,
don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I finish, one West when I start. Big shine, big glow. I be gone till November, let my bitch know. I'm back by the winter, bubbling like Crisco. I need my pockets all swollen like a lymph node. Talking out the side of your neck, get you a slit throat. I stay broke, don't care if I got $1 million. Looking down on me, I put your brains on the ceiling. Fuck kicking down the door, we bout to demo the building. Fake cats all in these groups, I wonder who ya. Shoot ya off your pulpit, hallelujah. 4-pound gun youngin' down like it's a cougar. On my feet, combat boots, or is it Puma? Words spreading around about me, none of it rumor. All truth, very big facts. Very large caliber on very small gaps. Compact pistols, ladders, and all that. About to throw the switch in the Nina for rapid fire. Got the 5.7 equipped with the magnifier. Boom shakalaka equipped with the rim rocker. We ain't really got beef, yeah, Ramak would have been shot you. The best rhymer since Pac and Big Papa. Big llama, big juice, I'm Big Jamba. Quarter tank of gas, I ride like a big timer. No informer, no sweat, not inside of my conglomerate. Wreck like King Tonga. No Asian pun me, no chink in armor. Remain calm throughout pain that bring drama. Stay focused on things that bring commas. Took all pressure, applied and made diamonds. Stayed true, kept shit pure, my name honored. Paid all dues and debts and kept promise. Make sure you show respect, pay homage. I'm one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I said I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I'm the hottest on the market, don't make me start it. I'ma pull up in a Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I remember days was trapping out the apartment. Now one West about put me up in a starship. About to fly the friendly skies in this bitch. Spit the truth on the corners, I lie a little bit. I'm a stand-up nigga, I die before I switch. Down, no we up, I'm cool with who I with. I'ma be war the king and stay dangerous. Hold down the biz and fam, remain blameless. Now rappers drippy with styles we made famous. First with studs and spikes in any city. Designers charge a stack for shit that can't fit me. Had friends on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith at y'all, no Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain a $1.50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause them niggas getting fouled, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino, and the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow. Try to ride my wave, you gon' need a speedboat. I'm hot like 100 degrees in a peacoat. Scarf in the sweater, I embark every letter. It's UPK, not a park, but together. Homie, I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. One West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West.
Shalom, Israel. This is the ISUPK started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Command General Yohana. We were established since 1969, and since 1969, we've been teaching blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians their true history, heritage, and culture according to the Bible. This is Friday night's Lashawan Qadash class, and it's a quick recap. Last week, we went over past tense. Sloppy. Yeah, we went over past tense, right? Last week. This week, let me see. Well, yeah, last week we went over past tense. This week we're going over present tense. Right? Let me make it bigger. We got a whole clean whiteboard I can write on now, so we're over present tense this week. Right? Present tense. And the word we're going to use for all of our examples this week is going to be to be. It's your presently to be. Right? So to be equals ha, wa. Right? Then Lashawan Qadash, that will be ha, Salak, that's yeah. Salak. Right, and Lashawan Qadash, that'd be Kyle Watt, Salak. Both y'all on board. Where y'all come from? Laverne. Y'all both got from Laverne? Yeah. Okay, I'm about to school.
We came yesterday.
You got fuck.
Disney. Nah, he not in school. Nah, he been watching videos of Murder.
Murder. All right. Let me check that back. So I can get all y'all things back after the let's go.
Nah, you gotta see that though.
Yeah, right now.
Right there at Jefferson stoplight.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they man, I ain't really
That was the first time I ever seen him.
This Lashawan Qadash class, since ain't no system, y'all can sit in these chairs. Forward. Y'all got notebooks and pen?
Yes, sir.
Alright. I'm Officer Carl. What's your name?
My dad.
Mondez?
Yeah.
Alright, what's your name?
Desmond.
No time, right? Alright. Well, yeah, this week we're going over present tense. Shoot, this y'all first Lashawan Qadash class, right?
Yeah.
I'll go over the alphabet. We're gonna start from the beginning since y'all in here. Alright, so in your English alphabet, you know, you got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z, right? You got 26 characters. In the Hebrew, you got 24 characters. And in the Assyrian, which is the modern Hebrew, you have 29 characters. Because it's 5 that's special. We're gonna move through all that. Right? So the title of this class every Friday is Lashawan Qadash. Lashawan Qadash. Right? Lashawan Qadash, what does that mean? Tongue. Lashawan is tongue. And Qadash is holy. The word Qadash means holy. Holy means to be separate. So it's separate tongue or separate language. Lashawan, that's where you get the word language from, the Latin word language. It comes from the Hebrew word Lashawan, right? So we'll do the Lashawan Qadash first, and then we'll do the Assyrian after that. We're gonna do all the the Paleo Hebrew first, then we're gonna do the modern Hebrew after. All right? So it's all written from right to left instead of left to right. Right? So if I was to write the word Lashawan Qadash, right, it would be La Salakia. Who is it? Mr. Bowman.
Hey,
How you doing, man?
got service going?
Your teaching class.
Okay. I got a phone.
No problem, you good. Hey, let's know y'all coming back there. Give me 1 second.
Is the boss phone?
No, sir, he's not here today.
Can you, call the chance and tell you what I have the gentleman here
My bad, fellas. Gotta get the school taken care of, get the plumbing and everything working. But yeah, so we writing the word Lashawan Qadash out in the Lashawan Qadash. La, Sha, Wa, Na. That's Lashawan Qadash. It will continue from right to left, but I'm gonna write it on the bottom just so y'all can see that light in the way. But Qadash is Wa, Da, Sha. Right? That's Lashawan Qadash written in the Lashawan Qadash. This is the topic, the title of the class, right? Every Friday, that's what we teach. Y'all got that? Alright, my bad. I'll rewrite it. As you can see, some of the characters that you're seeing is the same as in English. The la is still a L, the qua is a Q. You know what I'm saying? So some of the characters are still the same. Right here? Yeah. That's the wa, that's the na, the letter N. So in English, your N is this. But in the Hebrew, the N is this. And then the M in English is that, but the M in Hebrew is that. I'm gonna go slow. I'll break it down for y'all. You good? Oh, you got all that? Are you good? All right. So yeah, that's Lashawan Qadash. Now I'm gonna go through the whole alphabet. And it's gonna seem kind of confusing a little bit. I ain't gonna hold you, but it's not too confusing to where you can't get it. You know what I'm saying? It just take practice. All right, so starting from the right to the left, you got I. Right? That's the I. Matter of fact, I could probably. No, we're gonna focus on this first and then go to the Assyrian because I don't want to confuse y'all. So this is the I, right? The A, the first character. If you look at every language, the I, the A is always going to be that. No matter what. It's going to be that in English. It's going to be that. In Greek, is that. In Hebrew and Phoenician, is that. What they call Samaritan, they call all in the first language. It's really Hebrew. It's all Hebrew. The Hebrew language is a pictographical language, right? So this right here, this character means power in the Phoenician. If you put a ba next to it, the ba is a house. It's the ba in the Phoenician. So this word right here makes Abba. It means power of the house. Abba means father. Your father is the power in the house. You know what I'm saying? So all of language comes from this. It all breaks down from this. The Meganetry and what they got on the walls in Egypt, on the pyramids and stuff, all that derives from this. This came first. And all of that, everything else will break off from that. That's why there's a similarity between every language. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just want to break that down for y'all. But we're gonna zoom through this though, because it ain't really too complicated for this part. The I, the ba. It's like a fork with a tail. Then you got the ga. Da. Well, matter of fact, I know how to make this easier for y'all. I'll make write out the sounds of the letters. Ah. Ba. Ga. Da. This character is Ha. Wa. Za. Ka. Oh, slap. There you go. Ka. Damn, I had a brain fart. Hold on. Oh, slap. Yeah, there you go. Ta. Ya. Oh, I messed up. My bad. That Ka is supposed to be here. A good way to remember this sound, because there's two characters that sound similar. You got Ka, and then you have Cha. The Cha is the one I'm supposed to write here, right? It's this one. It's like a ladder with 3 rungs on it. That one character is C-H-A-A, right? So a good rule of thumb is in English to remember which one goes where. If you're doing the alphabet, write it out. If you're just trying to remember which one goes where, a good rule of thumb is to know, like in English, you got K-L-M-N. It's the same way in Hebrew. You got the Ka, the La, the Ma, and the Na right after each other. All right after each other. That's a good way to remember it, is if you refer back to the English. Because the English, like I said, every language stole its whole structure from the Hebrew. So with the whole K-L-M-N-O, you got Ka, La, Ma, Na right after each other in the same way. So that's a good way to remember. And that's how you don't confuse this Ka with the Cha. That means something completely different than this, right? Sa. This next one gonna confuse you, all right? I ain't gonna hold you. What do you think that is? Just guessing. What would you say that was? Just guess. Right. That's what I thought. It's I. I know. I said something. I said, bro, what? Yeah, it can get confusing. It's that can confuse you with that. The za can confuse you with the ya. The only difference between the za and the ya is there's a line going through it to make the ya versus the za, and then the I will confuse you because it's an O. It's an O shape, but it's pronounced I, right? Abagada hawazakata ya kalamana sa I pa. This little mouth. Yeah, right. All right, so you got the taza. I'm gonna write these last ones out and let y'all write them down. Kwa. Ra. Sha. That's your whole alphabet in Hebrew. A, ba, ga, da, ha. Wa, za, ka, ta, ya. Ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, ta, za, kwa, ra, sha, and ta. It seemed like a lot, but if you break it down the same way you break down the English alphabet into a song, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you do the same thing with Lashawan Qadash. A, ba, ga, da, ha. Wa, za, ka, ta, ya. Ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, ta, za, kwa, ra, sha, ta. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it takes practice though, for sure. It ain't something you'll get overnight, but it'll come much faster than trying to learn English if you didn't speak English already. All right? Let me know when y'all got that wrote down. But this script right here is called the Lashawan Qadash. The one we're gonna do after this is the modern Hebrew with the Jewish people, right? Except we ain't gonna do it with them comets, them dots. They call comets. We don't do those. There's no vowels in this language at all. It's all purely consonantal sounds. And it's the same when you go to the Assyrian with which is what we're gonna do next. I don't know if y'all got any questions. It's pretty straightforward.
What is that? It's supposed to be like kind of a whack that thought.
Next to thought, it's an X. Yeah, one side is longer than the other, but it's an X. You can write it as a regular X too. I just do that just so I remember. Because the I, you'll see why I do it in a second. Because the I in the Assyrian is written similar to that. But that line right there is curved in the Assyrian. You learn this, and then you learn the Assyrian, you'll be able to see where the Jewish people be writing their newsletters and stuff. All that information they be having on the news that be written in Hebrew that you can't read it, you'll be able to read it. They stole that language from us.
I had to write everything twice.
You had to write it twice?
No, I had to write, because I was putting an enunciation up on there first, and then I had to hurry up and write it.
Oh, no, you cool. No sweat. We ain't no rush. How old are y'all?
I'm 23. 21.
Okay, did that. It's good to see young brothers willing to learn, interested in learning. Let me know when y'all good. We'll wait for you, man, to finish up. Another thing that might confuse you in the first learning stages is your Ra and your Ba. That's also will help you remember them easier. Always remember your Ba got a tail, but it's the exact same character as the Ra. The Ra is straight down, the Ba got a tail. So it's easy. Your Ga is a mountain peak. The Da is a door. Or a triangle, my bad. The word Da means door, but that's a triangle. Your Za is a Z. Your Y is a Y. That's where they get the enunciation Y from. It's from the Hebrew Y. It's shaped like a Y, but it's pronounced Y, not yet. Your Ya is your Ya. You good? No, you good. How long it take to get y'all to y'all get here from Laverne?
Like 30 minutes.
That's not bad. I drive an hour out here in Columbia.
Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be used to writing this character.
No, you cool, ain't no time.
Yeah, I have to write it down. Left to right first, so I can double back and do it again the right way.
Yeah. If you look at all languages throughout the world, right? So you got English, European English, Polish, all the white people languages. They are the only languages written from left to right. Even Spanish is written from left to right. But every single other nation, Mandarin, who else? East Indian, Arabic, all other languages are written from right to left. But the white man changed everything and made everything left to right. He even made you predominantly right-handed. You know, y'all good?
We used to be left-handed.
No, it's not necessarily we used to be left-handed, but the white man streamlined everything. So in the world, 90% of everything you find in the world is right-hand dominant. If you buy a gun, your safety is on the left-hand side of your gun, because you're right-handed. If they train you to be right-handed, you know. When you was in school, your desk, you had a little curve for the armrest. It's on the right-hand side, not the left-hand side. You know what I'm saying? There are some though, but that's not too often.
Okay, understood. What about you? Yeah.
Good. All right. What we're about to do, the Assyrian, is literally the same language, but it's spoken the same way, but the characters are different. The reason why it's got different characters is because after the captivity when we was in Egypt, we ended up going to captivity to the Babylonians and into the Assyrians. But really the language changed. It started changing when we was in captivity to the Babylonians. That's when your characters changed from the Lashawan Qadash. Now they call it the Assyrian. We also did go into an Assyrian captivity, but the language changed long before that. All right. Matter of fact, I need a lot of space for this. Now what we're about to do is the Assyrian. Like I said, the language is still spoken the same, got the same enunciations, but it's written differently. Our language got bastardized throughout us being in captivity. We started to forget who we were. Before we got on slave ships in Africa and came over here to America, we already had been bastardized. We surrounded ourselves by other nations and their culture and the things that they did, and we forgot who we were. We forgot why we even started writing in Assyrian to begin with, you know. Again, like I said, make sure y'all got plenty of space, because it's some of these, it's 5 characters in here we're gonna have to double up, you know. And you'll see what I mean in a second, right? So your I in the Lashawan Qadash was a sideways A. In the Assyrian, that's your I. And that's why I write my Fa that way, so I can remember that it's not the same as my I. You know, but you don't have to write your Tha that way. I write it that way just so I remember it's separate from that. But that's your I in the Assyrian. Matter of fact, I'll do it in black. Yeah, there we go. Right. So the characters are different. I, Ba, the concepts are still the same though, with the Ba and the Ga. I mean the Ba and the Da. Those concepts are still the same. Still got tails. I gotta explain this character to y'all real quick, right? So this is the Y. This is the one that looks like a Y in English. In the Assyrian, it's written this way. But the modern Hebrew, the white man's Hebrew, he uses the same script, but his Y isn't like that. His Y is just this. There's like 4 other characters that look like that, so it don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? But the white man's the devil. They change everything. They take everything, and they bastardize it. But that don't make no sense to you. But this tail on here, on this Y, is important, you know, because if you don't have that, there's another character we're gonna get to. I'll explain to you when we get there. Don't even worry about what I just said. I'll explain to you when we get there, right? Is Yah. Notice how the Yah is smaller than all them characters. You have to write it small like that because if you don't, it'll be mistaken for a Ra. The Ra is that. It's a size difference. That character is like, so if I was to write a sentence, right? Let me see. Oh, okay, so I'll write the name of the Most High God. Y'all know the Most High God's name? Yahweh. Yahweh, right. So it will be Yah, Ha, Wa, Ha. You see, it has to flow. If it don't flow, if I draw it big as the rest of the letters, now that's Rahawa. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to know that that has to be small. Because otherwise, brothers will misconstrue what you're writing and you'll be confused. They'll be confused. All right, so this is one of them special characters, right? You have the Ka. It's written damn near the same way. So like, forget my language. It's written dang near the same way that the Ka is written in the English, or else like in the Lashawan Qadash. But it's written this way if it's anywhere other than the end of a word. If it's at the end of a word, mark it down. If it's written at the end of a word, instead of, if it's anywhere other than the end of the word, it's written like that. But if it's written at the end of the word, it's written like this. It's real big. So, let me see. Okay, so the word bless in Hebrew is barak. So if I was to write barak in the Hebrew, or in the Assyrian rather, it would be ba, ra, and there would be a ka. But instead of being that, because it comes at the end of the sentence, it'll be that. It'll be elongated, past both. And again, that's to differentiate between the ha and the ra. It has to be longer than all of them. So you can know it's at the end of the word, that means it's the ka. Right. You good. So your la in the Lashawan Qadash is just the L, but in the Assyrian, like a 5 without the horizontal line. See, the 5 is, but it's literally just that, without that up there. That's your La. There's only 5 of these special characters in the language. We don't get through all of them though. I'm gonna swap this black marker out in a minute. About there. All right, the next 2 characters are special, just like the Kai is. The Ma, if it's anywhere other than the end of the word, then it's written this way. It's a house. It's an open house with a tail, with a chimney. That's your Ma. If it's anywhere other than the end of a word. If it's at the end of the word, it's the exact same thing, except it's closed. That's the only difference. The same thing with your Na. Your Na, if it comes anywhere other than the end of a word, it looks like a 3. But if it comes at the end of a word, I'm gonna teach y'all the right way to write it and then the way that we write it. And this actually does matter. All right, so the right way to write the Ma, the right way to write the Na, if it comes at the end of a word, is like that. It's the same thing as the Wa, but it's long. If it comes at the end. But the other way is like this. Like a little P. Either way is acceptable, but for the sake of your learning, write it this way. And just trust me on that. That's your Na. All right. The Sa, it's gonna be crazy. It's like the I. It's just an O, elongated tail. It's an apple. You know what I'm saying? Your I. Y. So pi is another one, right? Your pi is another one of the special characters. If it comes anywhere other than the end of a word, it's written like a hanged man with a tail. If it comes at the end of a word, it's literally just a hangman. It's your pi. I don't know if y'all can see it. I'll let y'all write that down because I'm gonna have to erase all of that. We got a couple more letters to go through. That's all I'm saying. We need a lot of space. We got to double up on some of them. So far, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the double letters. There's one more. Oh yeah, that's right. Let me know when y'all got all this written down. No. Good. All right. All right. So continuing straight on. The next character is going to be the Taza. The Taza is the last special character. I'm going to show you how you can differentiate between it and the Y, or not the Y, but the I, because the I looks similar to it. The Taza is like this. If it's anywhere other than the end of a word, If it's at the end of a word, you just drop the tail. That's if it's at the end of a word, you drop the tail. That's the last special character. The last special character is the Taza. The Kwa is a regular character. Well, no. Let me teach y'all the right way to write it. I'm being lazy. It's my fault. The right way to write it is like it. It looks just like the Taza in the Lashawan Qadash. But it's the difference because if you write a sentence out, let me see. Kwa. What's the word that starts with Kwa? Oh, Qadash. Yeah. Okay, so if I write Qadash, right, in the Assyrian, it's written Kwa. Da. Oh, that's not right. Sha. It's Qadash. Qadash. Notice how it's longer. You know, like in English, you got some characters that hang over the line, below the line. This is one of them characters. It's longer. Kwa. With the last couple. We got the Ra. Shah. And the Ra. That's not right. That's the Assyrian. Now, what you'll notice is that your Shah in every language is always going to be a W. In the Lashawan Qadash, that's your Shah. And the Assyrian, that's your Shah. You know, in every language. I used to know how to write it out in Arabic. I don't remember. In Aramaic, but I don't remember. But I know it is a W-esque shape. You know, that's just more proof that every language is stolen from the Hebrew. It's a derivative or break off from the Hebrews, language we originally spoke. Y'all got that written down?
Yeah, most of it written down. I'm sorry, people. You can just copy mine.
Oh, you got you need what you missing on? What's the last thing you wrote down? I go back. I think we're gonna finish too early. No, I still got 10 minutes left, so I can go back if you need me to.
Right, I was trying to write out I believe Qadash.
You want me to spell it out for you? Write it out for you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so Qadash. In the Hebrew, in the Lashawan Qadash, the Qadash is Kwa. Da. Shah. Kwa. Dash. These are connectors, right? All words in the Hebrew, they connect differently. So, well, I'm going to do what you asked me for first. So this is Qadash in the Hebrew. In the Assyrian, Qadash is written like this. The Assyrian doesn't get connectors, right? But all words in the Lashawan Qadash, they truly have connectors. They have to have connectors. If they don't, you won't know how to pronounce a word. So I could say something. Let me see. That's what I was going to teach tonight, actually. Okay. Yeah, okay, so the words, the phrase, she is watching. Right? The phrase she is watching. I'm about to pull you out the importance of the connectors. She is watching is pronounced Haya. No. Well, yeah, I'll write it out first. It's Haya. Haya. Shawa. Okay. Sha. Wa. Ma. Ra. Well, technically, it's that, right? Haya is Haya-a. Shama. Shama wa ra. Shama wa ra. Right? So written down in Lashawan Qadash, that would be Ha. Ya. A. Sha. Wa. Ma. Ra. Ha. Now, if you notice when I wrote the Ra right there, right? That Ra has a Ha at the end of it, has an H at the end of it. But there is no word that we just went over. There's no word that no character that spelled R-A-H. You have a Ra, but you don't have a Ra with a Ha at the end of it. The reason why that's like that, because you have connectors, right? There's a Ha right there. When you write out that whole word, that whole sentence, that whole phrase, she is watching, you got, when you connect it, Ha, Ya, A. Those are all pronounced separately. Ha, Ya, A. Sha, Wa, Ma. Yeah. They're all pronounced separately except for these. These are connected. By them being connected, you're dropping the I that's at the end of that Ha, right? Because that Ha is its own character, it's its own sound. But if you have a word that ends with the Ha sound, you don't need that I at the end of it. So when you connect it, you eliminate that last part of the sound, right? That makes it Ha. So like another example is the Most High name, the Most High God's name, Yahweh, right? Yah, Ha, Wa, Ha. That technically is Yahweh Ha, Yah, Ha, Wa, Ha. But it's pronounced Yah, Ha, Wa. Because the Y has a Ha sound at the end of it. So you don't need the I at the end of that. So you don't need the Ha at all. The character is there to make that Y stand alone. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Yeah. But that's what I want to show y'all though. Y'all got any questions? I'll wait y'all done to erase it. Haya-a. Shawamara. And this is how it's pronounced. It's Haya-a. I should have made space. Haya-a is she is. Shawamara. The Ra, the I at the end of that is the she. I went over that last week. I'll do it again next week if y'all come to class. I'll go back over it and I'll go over the tenses all over again. This is present tense though. The haya makes show. Hold on, let me. Shemai. Shemai is the word, it means listen. That's what the word Shemai means. You add a Y in the middle of there because you're making it present tense. You're adding Haya-a is she is. but that is changed your. This is your subject pronoun. No, I'm sorry. She is your subject pronoun. That's the only way you can conjugate this word correctly. The word you're conjugating is Shema. We want to make Shema present tense by making Shema present by adding a Y in the middle of it, and then changing the I into a Ra. So Shawa. Ra. Sloppy. Ra. That means now that says it says listening, she's listening, but it doesn't have the she on it. The she is literally this. Haya. What we have here is listening, but we don't know who is listening because we don't have our subject pronoun. You have to have your subject pronoun, be it me, it could be I, me, you, them, she, he, whatever the subject pronoun is. This changes. This will change, and whatever this is, will show you how to conjugate the rest of the word, your adjective, or your verb. I mean, it'll teach you how to conjugate it. But we'll go over that next week. Y'all come to class. Y'all got everything written down. Y'all trying to write?
Y'all right there is listening.
Yeah, this is listening. Not listening. I'm sorry. Watching. It means watching is watching. Shemai is watch. Right. Y'all good? What's up?
Who is the C you were referring to?
This is just okay, I'll break some of that down a little bit. Make that make sense. Your subject pronouns. So like if I say I finished my work. Right? If I say I finished my work, this is your verb. That's a verb. You can't have if I didn't have that I right there, finished my work is a statement, but it's not a true sentence. Your sentence has to have a subject. All of this is your predicate. Right? All that is your predicate. This is a noun. This is your subject. Right? So the she is watching, in the phrase she is watching, that she is not necessarily got to be a specific person, but that you have to have either she, he, them, they. You have to have a subject pronoun.
Excuse me, sir. I know you're busy.
Yes, sir.
Were you able to get a hold to the boss?
The Rocky was supposed to call him. Give me 1 second. That's your subject pronoun. Give me 1 second. Slide.
What grade you got? In school?
Yeah, not school.
Ninth grade, this one? Oh, I got you. I understand that. I understand that.
said he did get in touch with somebody who come over here and talk to you.
He's got somebody coming over.
No, he's about to come over here and talk to you right now. He just walked out there. Yeah. All right, but yeah, so your subject pronoun, in order to conjugate whatever what we did here is a tense, right? This is present tense. Right, so what we did right here is present tense. We made watching Shamar, we made it present tense by saying she is watching. She is watching. To be is hayah. You add an I and a hi at the end, and it makes it she. It makes it present tense for she, for females, right? And it'd be the same thing if you had a brother, right? So if you had a brother, it would be I really don't remember off the top of my head, to be honest. But I'll say, oh yes, it's on the So if it's a brother, it's ha. I do it in blue, so you have to differentiate. So you got he is watching. Right? The he is ha. So it'll be ha. Hold on. I think it's ha or is it hawa? It's hawa. Ha. Wa'a. Right? Wa'a, oh, hawa'a is to be. Hawa is to be, but that I back there makes it a broad he is watching. It could be he, me, it could be he, you, but it's he is watching. It makes it broad, it makes it he. So it becomes he is watching. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's all the same. You don't know how to conjugate your verb. In this case, the verb is watching. We don't know how to conjugate that verb unless we know what our subject, our subject noun is, right? Subject pronoun. Like so, I go in more detail. I start over from the beginning. If y'all come to class next week, I got you. I'll explain all the. We'll start from the top with present tense. That was some of present tense what we just did right there. We'll start from there, and then we'll go into past tense and future tense. And it's almost the same as English. It's a similar concept, rather I'll say. Where in English, where if you say you did something past tense, you just add ed to it. In English or in the Hebrew, it would be you add well, it depends on whatever the subject pronoun is. If it's an I, then it changes. If it's a she did, or he did, or we did, then it changes based on whatever the subject pronoun is. It's 7 of them, I believe, in total. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 11. Well, it's 10 of them in total. But if you remember them 10, it's always the same across the board. So if you ever know, if you want to say I did something, then it will always be the same. If you say I walked or I drove down the street, the end of your word will change based on whatever that I is. You know what I'm saying? Versus if you have a she, then it'll change based on whatever that she is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. Y'all got any more questions? You good? All right. With that, I should be cased out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Command General Yohana. We've been established since 1969, and since '69, we've been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians their true history, heritage, and culture according to the Bible. We're not affiliated with other Israelite group, religion, culture, heritage. It's been Friday night's Lashawan Qadash class. That's my time. Shalom.